everyone, welcome to YourPedia and this is Shubha. So recently we have seen that there have been multiple job opportunities for specialist cadre in public sector banks like State Bank of India, Bank of Baroda, Central Bank of India, and today we are going to discuss about Punjab National Bank. Now you see that you all are very intelligent and you have a good efficient knowledge related to your own professional domain. But what about the fundamentals of banking system? You should have a good knowledge on that too when you're preparing for the banking sector. From where you can get the knowledge? So in this video, I'm going to share the glimpse of the documentation which you can get on the YourPedia panel. You can download the documentation. Now, how this documentation is going to be helpful for you? This documentation carries all the essential pointers related to PNB, like when it was merged. So basically, what are the products which it's dealing with, who is the management part, current chairman, vision, mission, and whatnot. So everything is there in a detailed version in this documentation. Now, I'll be briefing you out about this documentation here. I'll be just showcasing the glimpse, and at the end, I'll be discussing some of the most expected HR questions which could be asked in your interview. So stay tuned and just notice out what things you need to prepare and how the best you can prepare for yourself. Let's get started. Now see, at the very start, briefly, I'm mentioning it out when the bank was established, who established it, it was by Lala Lajpat Rai and the visionaries, and where this very important thing is that it has been merged. So multiple mergers have been there with PNB, right? So during the long history of bank, 9 banks have been merged and amalgamated with PNB. Now, related to domestic branch network, so bank has total 55209 delivery channels with a network of 10175 domestic branches, 2 international branches, 12,040 ATMs, 33010 business correspondents. So basically, when you talk about anything, I just tell you one thing, the figures and numbers are not very important. You might be not very efficient and you don't know to rot mortify it. Basically, you should have a thorough knowledge. So where is the headquarter of PNB? So have you visited the recent bank, or where is your salary account? Is it there in PNB? So what on board can you become as a differentiator from other banking sector? And there are certain other things. So the basic things is you just get to know about the details, and in red I have highlighted the most important things that you need to be aware about, right? Then it comes as related to, I would say, about the headquarters, which is there in Dwarka in Delhi, and where it was founded 130 years ago, and who founded it out, number of locations where it has, I have already mentioned it out, that is 10,108 domestic branches, 12,455 ATMs, right? Now, one thing is very important is who is the chairman, the current chairman of your PNB, right? So basically, you should be aware about Shri Ashok Chandra, Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer, and for the non-executive chairman, that is Shri KG Anant Krishna. So now, and yes, when they were appointed, names of the other managing directors and chief executive CEOs are also been there. So just have a recent glimpse that when the person was appointed, right? So just read the names so that at least if something pops up in your mind, you should be aware. The RBI, now see, whenever you're going for the banking sector, recently the budget was passed, the repo rate was cut, who was the current governor of RBI, what rules and regulations which have been passed by RBI. So that comes to your GA start, the current awareness you should be having. So all those things are there in other documentation of banking sector. You can also go and download the documentation which carries a brief glimpse about the current affairs also. Now the next comes is what is a mission and vision that aligns, or the question could be how the mission and vision of PNB aligns with your mission and vision. Mission is the short-term goal, vision is a long-term goal. So you should be aware that what is the mission and vision of the organization you are heading towards. What are the values which they incorporate, the products and services which they deal with. So where all these products are there, like the things they provide, the mutual fund, index funds, credit funds, private banking, corporate banking, everything. And you should be aware about the differentiation between. Like if I asked you, what is the difference between scheduled commercial banks and the payments bank? You should be aware about this differentiations also. Now here it is where all these deposits and debits and credit cards, everything is there. So what are the loans facility that is being provided? So here it is in tabular form. I've mentioned it out. Keep on taking the things which you are good in and keep on highlighting which you need a thorough practice, right? So it is one of the top 5 public sector banks in India by assets and market capitalization. So about the revenue, financial performance which it has performed, right? And when it was nationalized, it was national in 1980, liberalization in 1990, and about the payments, small finance banks, so everything. See, All the things you will be getting it out. That is something, not even a mere instance is missed in this documentation. Mergers, acquisition, with which banks it was merged, amalgamations, right, about the subsidiaries which it provides, and then it is the domestic ones, the foreign ones, everything is listed over here. I'm just giving you the glimpse. The best is you can go to the downloads and you can finally download in the download section, right, in the YourPedia panel. So after all this, the recent initiatives and projects, like why it was in news currently about the digital transformation, green banking initiatives that has been taken, like it could be asked about the PNB Uniting for Greener Tomorrow project, about the CSR activities which it performs. So see, everything is there in detail in front of you. Okay, and some of the highlights from the news also that I have tried to capture it out. The recent award, Green Ribbon Champions Award 2024, it was being provided. So now comes the most important part, that is your important HR questions. You feel that you know the answer, they are going to ask you about the introduction, true, but do you know the exact order, ascending order or the descending order, and what are the best things that you need to mention when you are going for any banking sector in your introduction? Second is, why particularly PNB? Like suppose you're coming from some MNCs, why you want to be a part of now a banking sector which is full of stress and pressure these days? Why only PNB when there are other banking sectors too? Why not a private bank? Why only a public sector bank? All these things, why should we hire you as a specialist officer, and what differentiation you can bring on the board for us? Your strengths and weaknesses, where do you see yourself in next 5 years, how do you handle criticism, and obviously the stress and pressure that can be portrayed on you. Difference between public sector and private sector bank. How does PNB contribute to financial inclusion? What is the importance of KYC, know your customer norms in banking sector? Can you explain the Basel norms? What is your leadership style, and have you ever led a team? Then some could be the case studies, that if there is a kind of a conflict between two members, how you're going to handle that situation. Suppose there's a network crisis, what you will be doing in that situation. So there are lots of case studies. Or how would you be motivating the employees if they're working under you? How will be helping them that they should not be facing lots of stress and pressure on their work culture? Tell us about a time you faced a problem at work and you tried to solve it out also. So here's some of the related to case studies also, the questions are there. But I would still suggest you that related to government schemes, related to banking and private sectors, difference between retail banking, corporate banking, how do you ensure that banks, fraud preventions in digital transactions, how would you handle a situation where a VIP customer is unhappy with that your services? What strategies would you use to retain a dissatisfied client? Can you share an experience where you were fully successfully resolved a customer complaint, and whatnot? So this is a brief list, but the other comprehensive and detailed list is there for the PNB HR questions that could be asked, carrying on multiple domains such as your personality, then the organization, about your academia project, that internship, about your job experiences, then it could be about the government schemes and the finances it has headed towards. Prepare to the best, guys. This is a golden opportunity for all of you. Just practice to the mocks and multiple HR snap sessions and also technical sessions related to banking domain. Hold your knowledge to the best, and then yes, you can win your final selection. So all the best, take care and have a good day.